What's up, Group Coach Nation? Let's talk about picking a mastermind. So obviously here at Group Coach Nation, we teach how to launch and scale group coaching programs and masterminds. But I go to masterminds too. Like I can't help it. And not just because I can't help it, like I'm addicted to it. I really need masterminds and group coaching programs in my own life. So let me do this. A lot of people ask when I'm speaking like on other shows or in our own communities, like, Chris, how do you actually pick one? What do you think through when you're picking one? So here it is. Here's how I pick a mastermind to be part of. Like, what's important to me, what's meaningful to me as someone who sees a lot of groups, some good, some bad, and exactly how I pick the one that I'm going to be part of. Number one for me is trust. I got to pick a mastermind from a leader that I trust, because here's the most important part of a mastermind. And when I say mastermind, let me define that real quick. I mean like a smallish group of people, 10 to 30 maybe people at a time, where there's a really good leader taking us through a very determined process or relationship set, and we're there to actually get something done. So trust is important, because you don't want to spend a bunch of money when you can't trust the person, because we've all had that scenario. We bought something, we joined a mastermind, quote unquote mastermind, whatever you want to call it, and it was just not good. So I've been there too. I've purchased those things. I purchased the e-courses, the books, the masterminds, all the stuff, right? Find someone you can trust. Now, before you find someone you can trust, it's helpful to narrow down the genre of what you're trying to accomplish. And then it's going to narrow down your choices of masterminds, and then you can get into the trust play, right? The most important thing is absolute trust in your leader, all right? You're picking a mastermind. Who do you trust? Okay, but before you narrow that down, you might want to say, Chris, I don't know, there's a million masterminds out there. How do I pick the genre I want to be in? Well, pretty straightforward. Here's how I do it. So I'm looking for a specific skill set typically when I join a mastermind, or a specific set of relationships. So the world works on relationships, folks. That's why a lot of people join our mastermind and why I join other people's masterminds. There are relationships that matter out there, not just with the host you're going to join, but the people that they attract. It's so important to be part of a community with awesome people. People that are going the same direction you are. People who are trying to crack the same code you're trying to crack. People are trying to do the same things in life. That's a really important piece, because you're going to learn more. You're going to grow 5 times faster because you're in a good group, not just because you're with that host. The group is what's going to change your life. So make sure you're in a place where you can grow, and you're ready to be in a place with other people who are ready to grow. So picking a genre for me is important. So for instance, if I'm trying to learn how to launch a mastermind or a group coaching program, is why people join our group. If that's your thing, join our group, right? That's a reason to be like, this is specifically what I'm trying to learn. If I'm trying to learn how to launch a low ticket e-course, great. I'm going to join a group about that. I'm not going to take a course about how to launch an e-course. I'm going to join a mastermind about how to launch an e-course, because I want that thing. I want to learn how to do that. But I also know that if I just blitz the material, I can go out and find it on YouTube. I want to blitz the material and go through a very consistent process with someone I can ask questions of, the host, and with a bunch of other people who are doing that with me, so that I'm not just hanging out in a free Facebook community. That's not a mastermind, by the way. A mastermind is where you're showing up consistently, week in, week out, month in, month out, with the same people, a small group you get to know. That way I can say, here's the trouble I'm having. I can be authentic, and I can say, I need help with this. If I'm trying to hire a sales professional, if I'm trying to learn how to build up staffing and systems, whatever it is, I'm going to get into a mastermind that's specifically dealing with that. All right. So I'm looking for that genre. Then I'm picking a host in that genre that I can trust. I decide trust on a couple things. One, do I already know this person, or I've already been involved in their community and I've got experience with them or exposure to them? That's helpful. But I'm also looking at their reviews, their testimonials. I'm reaching out to a few people on testimonial pages frequently, like, hey, saw you on so-and-so's testimonial page. How long has it been since you've been in their program? It's been 2 years. Great. How'd it go for you? Have you had any contact with that person since then? What are they like now? I'm looking for really current, somebody who's been there in the past 6 months or so, to say, yeah, this is still legit and it's really good. You'll see a lot of testimonial pages out there that have older testimonials, and they might be testimonials from somebody 3 years ago. That's great. We have those on our website, but we also have really current ones, because you want to make sure that the person you're joining their mastermind for, that they have current results in today's market, today's environment. And it wasn't just the way they started was awesome, and then they scaled up and they got disconnected and not getting the same results. That's important to figure out, right? You got to really make sure you do that. So pick your genre. What are you trying to learn? What are you trying to accomplish? Start there. Narrow that down. Okay, now you know specifically what you're trying to accomplish. Don't go buy e-courses and all that stuff you don't have to. Like, go straight to the real deal. Go as high up the value ladder for that need that you have as possible. Once you find the coach, the expert you want to lean in on, try to get into their mastermind. Okay, their mastermind is going to be a curated group of awesome people like you who are actually trying to accomplish something and do the thing with you, alongside you. You need that community. And pick a host that you trust. Reach out, ask people, talk to the host, interview their recent members if you can, one or two. Try not to overburden them. We get a lot of requests to interview our members. Number one, because our members are super cool. I think that's probably the primary reason. But also, I think people really want to know, is this good? Does this work for me? So we've reviewed and interviewed those people so we can get testimonials. Be like, hey, if you want to go watch the testimonials, go for that. And then if you still have specific questions, we want people to ask specific members about specific questions. So when I'm joining a mastermind, I don't just say, hey, can you give me 5 people I can talk to in your group? Because no, who has time for that? I usually go and say, hey, I've watched testimonials. I've looked into your stuff. I still have one question about how this would function. Do you mind if I just get a second opinion and send me to a member who's had this specific issue? And then they connect me to somebody on email or whatever. We jump on a quick 5-minute call or just email back and forth. And I get to ask very specific questions. That's really helpful when it comes for me gaining trust in the host. Third thing is got to be time commitment and my ability to execute. Does this mastermind, this group, this process there that can take me through, can I actually get it done, right? Yeah, it's going to cost money. You got to ask the money question. But apart from the money, let's say you can figure out how to pay for it. When I'm joining a group, I think, yeah, it's real cost to that. But the real cost is joining and not executing. That's real cost. If I join and execute and I get results, then the cost goes away. I make my money back every time. If it's a good group, solid. Here's the deal though. Sometimes you join a group and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in 3 groups now. What the heck am I doing? Join a group that you know you're going to execute on. If you can execute and you're like, I can show up twice a week, 3 times a week, once a month, whatever the workload is, and I have a team member to help me do this, and like I can actually get this done. Like, ask the coach how much time it's actually going to take. Ask the members, like, lean in, find out. Because you want to be able to execute. Execution is 90% of your success. All right. 2% is the strategy. Honestly, a lot of great strategies out there. The ones that work are the ones typically that we do. It's true. It's true. I know it's always nice to be talking strategy, find something new and shiny, but the one you do is often the one that actually will work. And it's because you executed. 2% of your focus is on strategy. 8% of my focus, 2% on strategy, 8% of my focus is on getting my team up and running, leading my team. And then 90% of our collective focus as a team is getting stuff done, actually doing the work. That's what makes success. Day in, day out, get the workflow done. Prospect, sell, fulfill, lead your groups, build a community, whatever you're doing, do the work daily. I don't mean 7 days a week, but do the work consistently. Okay. So important. So when I'm building a mastermind, I'm looking for those things I just mentioned. It is so important that you catch on to all those things. Pick your genre. What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to learn? Find a leader in that space you can trust. Do your homework like I told you to do. All right. 3, make sure you can actually get the work done. It really matters how much it costs because that's cash. But in a lot of ways, it doesn't matter. Because if you're going to do what this person says to do, the cash will work itself out and you'll be glad you made the choice. But if you can't get the workflow done, or you're just there to like experiment, that's a losing proposition for everybody. Always is. Never sit around and experiment. If you're going to jump in, commit and jump in. Like, do the actual work to actually get the thing done. That's so critical. All right, folks, do work, get results. As always, Chris Williams here, Group Coach Nation. Go to our website, groupcoachnation.com. There's tons of stuff there for you if you're trying to figure out this group coaching or mastermind building thing. But this is how I build mastermind. This is what I do. I join masterminds. I'm always in 1 or 2 masterminds a year. I'm in 2 this year. One that's a very specific skill set that my team and I are trying to learn. And the second one is a relationship mastermind where it's just a long-term play. And these are people, we're just building each other's businesses and industries together. Like, we're just accomplishing big things together. I'm always in masterminds, and only the ones I can execute on with only trusted hosts and only specifically for what I need. Take that, do the work, get results.